Hey guys, what's going on? It's your girl Roxy here, and I'm so excited to have you on today's video. So today, I want to introduce you to one of my amazing rock stars, to one of my clients who came to me as a complete newbie looking to compete and really just raise her fitness to the next level. When we met, she actually said that she worked out at 24-hour fitness and she didn't want to just have a 24-hour fitness body. She wanted to have a body that wowed everybody and inspired other women to really push it in the gym. And we did exactly that for her. And not only did we do that for her, but her first show ever, she went out and competed and earned her pro card with one of the natural orgs. So we took her from not knowing anything and being completely green to just being an absolute superstar on the stage. And we're not even done with her yet. We're just getting the party started. So her name is Loleta, and I wanted to go ahead and bring her on here today to show you what's possible if you put in the work, if you have the right coaching, and if you just dare to dream. So let's go ahead and jump right into our conversation. So, all right, everybody. So let's go ahead and say hello to Loleta. So Loleta, go ahead. Why don't you tell us more about yourself? Tell us where you're from. Tell us, how you got onto your own fitness journey, like what inspired you to really get serious about doing what you're doing and all that good stuff.
I'm originally from Michigan, but I've been out here in LA area for a couple of decades, but my roots are still in Michigan. I've been working out for a long time, but not so serious until recently, like competitively serious. And I've been following Roxy, stalking Roxy on YouTube for a little while. I was just intrigued, really mainly intrigued by her being candid and very open, that East Coast style, because I'm very familiar with that and I liked it. And so I enjoyed it very much because Roxy's very honest and she tells it how it is. So that kept me wanting to follow her more because she kept it real. And so I kept on following and kept on wanting to digest more of the information because she gave the information that she provided. There was always a why behind it. It was just not, this and then that's it. There was that, there was always a why behind it, why you're doing it. Or when she gave a question, she wanted you to dig more, ask more questions and into yourself or into other people that you might be interacting with. So I really appreciated that from her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and for me especially, because I am that type of person, and so that really drove me into, I decided to compete, and that's what, I thought, well, this is the type of person that I would like to work with, and that's what drove me into reaching out to her and saying, hey,
Let's do it. So let me ask you this. So I had shared with our audience how when you first had one of our first conversations, like one of the things that motivated you was that you said you didn't want to just have that 24-hour fitness body. Like you wanted to you really wanted to step it up and inspire other women. So tell us about that. What has that meant to you? And do you feel like you've passed the 24-hour fitness body like you wanted to?
Yeah, and you know what? Because I'm not a person that brags about myself. I don't like to do that. But all the time I get people come up to me and they say, you're the most transformed person at this gym. And we have a lot of people that compete at my gym. We do. We have a lot of, people that do. But to get that compliment from people I don't even know, and I don't even engage in conversations, and that 24-hour fitness, that gym body, that means that you go to the gym, you work out, you look good, but it's not that body, that stage presence, that body that's just dialed in, it's cut, and that's a whole nother level. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to see if I could take my body to that next level. And sure, I could work out and lift some weights and, have a decent diet. But I wanted to see if I could take it to a whole nother level. And that's what I really desired. That's what I really wanted. And not only just that, because I'm not a person that's a one and done person, because I know people that will just do it one time and that's fine. But for me, I didn't want to be a one and done, let me just do it one time and be done with it, because I want to do it again. I want to just see where I can go after that.
Yeah. Well, I that was one of the things that was always been really inspiring, to me about you, is just you have such a relentless work ethic. And, despite the fact that, which we'll talk about a little bit later, where you've had some challenges with your schedule and stuff like that. And, even some physical challenges when it comes to really bringing our best to our work. And I think that, sometimes when people are watching others from the outside in, they think that, oh, you have everything so easy, and look at you, you had this transformation, you started here, now you look great. And I always think that everyone's personal story is so amazing. One of the things I want to go back to, though, before we talk about some of that is, and I'm laughing now because, like, you had such a concern about online coaching. Like, you were like, how does this work? Is this going to work? I need somebody in person. Like, we're in LA, what's going on? So I always love to tell that story because, I mean, you've been able to overcome that fear, which is a lot of women still have that, especially when they're dealing with coaches who have burned them in the past. So, like, what has that process been for you? Like, going from a really kind of like trepidatious, like, oh my God, what is this thing, to, wow, like, I mean, we're doing the thing, we're doing it up for you. So share us about that.
Well, my biggest concern was more for the posing, because I train on my own, and a lot of things I do on my own anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so concerned about posing, because I could be a girly girl, but at the same time I was like, how am I going to do this? I mean, if you look at my before pictures, which I've thrown up before, I didn't even know how to strike a pose. And so
I'll share them. I'll actually, when I go back and edit them, I'll put them on the side here so people can see it.
Gosh. But I was like, what? And so I didn't even know, because you asked, like, send a picture posing, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, I know I had the image, but to carry my body, I had no clue. And that's what I was afraid of. I was like, how is she going to show me, and that's what I was really afraid of. And but the way you explain it, and the way I'm able to receive it, it totally makes sense. And for me, and for each person is different. So that's what's great, because you know each woman, and so our personalities. So for me, you're like, okay, this is how I have to tell her. And so you tell me how I should feel it, where I should feel it, and if I'm not getting it, then you tell me again. And that's what I appreciate the most, because I was like, what the hell is she? I need to be touched. Poke here, put it down here. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we do a lot of our posing sessions on Skype. So, well, that's how we do all of our posing sessions. And it's funny because, like, Loleta lives in LA, and she lives, like, I live in LA and she lives in, like, the Valley. And we're probably on a Sunday, we're probably like, a good 20 minutes from each other, maybe, if we were to, like, try to meet in the middle. And we literally never met in person.
I could reach out and touch you.
literally. So, but I'm going to fix that. That's my thing. I'm going to do like a gathering, probably closer to the end of the year, and say anybody who's local in LA, or even if anybody wants to come out, let's just like do a little rock star thing. But that's a whole other thing. And I'm thinking about doing some live events for just like folks that follow me that want to come out and do like a seminar or something. So that opportunity will be, I live in my own little hermit world over here. So, okay. So let's talk about your experience as far as your goals when it came to finally getting on stage. Now, What was that like for you? What was the process like, especially as a new person going into like this whole competing thing, even though you've worked out, for years by yourself? Like, what was that shift like, and how was the programming? How was just the grind of it all for you leading up to your first time ever on stage?
Well, I mean, everything was like different because even my training was different. The workouts were, I had to connect differently to my muscles. I had to speak to them differently. That all of that was different. The exercises were the same, but the way I was making the connection was totally different. And so that kind of threw me off, because I was like, okay, wait a minute. So I had to remember I'm not pushing the weight, even though I did have to like still lift heavy, but wasn't necessarily moving the weight. I was moving the muscle. And so, and so that was really different.
How did you get that connection? Like, how did that light bulb go off for you? Just share that with our audience, because that's a different methodology and way of working. So how did that come about for you?
It was, I mean, it took some time. It didn't happen immediately, and it didn't happen immediately for all my muscle groups at the same time. So, it happened differently with like, my delts, or my glutes. It wasn't all at it wasn't like all in the week. So I would have to like really go really slow.
Well, hold on a sec. Let me back up a little bit, because I see where you're going with this, and I think that's great. But what I want to get to the root of, how did you get the idea to work like that?
Just with the mindset. So every time we would do goal settings, I would set a goal and what my goal was for that day or for that week, and then I would have to make that goal. And and that's what we do with you. So you remind us what our goal is, and so and for me, I would make that goal like if it's in the gym. And what's my goal in the gym? Is it a PR? Is it what for me? What was it? And really, in the beginning, wasn't necessarily a PR. It was I need to make that connection with my muscles, and so and I like that about that working with you, because it was changing the mindset of the way I worked in the gym. I could lift weights all day long. I could push the weights. I could do this. But it was how I was making that connection in there. So, and you're helping me make that connection, set those goals, reminding myself. And if I didn't accomplish it, it's okay. Go back and do it again.
So the goal setting aspect has been a really huge thing for you. Like what we do when we work, it's not just training and diet, but it's also about like setting weekly goals, setting daily goals, setting monthly goals, setting 8-week goals. Like we have a whole system of goal setting, which is really great. And what I love to hear, and I think the thing that's clicking, that will click for a lot of, the women that are watching now, is about how to take what you're doing now and step it up greater than you've ever done it before, and to train in a whole new way, to really get connected deeply, within you, why this stuff matters and how you're going to work differently. So it sounds like that's like the light bulb that actually went off for you too. Is that correct?
Yeah, because sometimes it's like, you're not sure exactly how to set a goal, like these little goals. I mean, I didn't set all these little goals before I worked with you. Like I just went in. Maybe I did and wasn't making that connection, but once I started writing it down and then having those conversations with you, or and then having a dialogue, it really started. It became 180. It really started making a huge connection of why. Again, it goes back to the why, and that's what I appreciate with you. Why I'm doing this, and I'm not just doing it just to do it, but why am I doing it?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have the why. If I don't have the why, what's the purpose of it? And so the purpose of a goal setting, you have to have a why to get to the next goal. And so, and that's what I appreciated, so I have a goal and I need to get to the next goal. But why am I getting to why I have to accomplish this goal? Why am I doing it? And so and that's been like.
Yeah, so watching your progress has really been, exciting for me as a coach. And it's really like, watching you not only physically progress, but your mindset and how you view yourself and, and all that stuff. It's just such a beautiful thing to see that all come together. So but like I said, the road to our final result on the stage and the accomplishments that we saw, which we're going to talk about in a minute, wasn't an evenly paved, clear road. You had some challenges along the way. We even had some medical issues, that came out, or concerns rather, that came up, and your work schedule. So how were you able to manage all that stuff? What was that like for you? And how do you feel like, you were able to just keep going even when it might felt like, you were ready to give up?
I Well, I'm not sure. I think for me, because I have faith. I mean, I think that's my number one thing. I think that's what keeps me going. But I think because I had, I just felt like I just had those goals. Like I really, I just had my mind like set that I'm just gonna step on that stage, and I was just so committed that I was going to do this, and I just was not gonna give up. I just was not gonna give up on myself, and I was just gonna get through it. I'm not exactly sure. It was tough. It really was, and I'm not exactly. I just kept on being prepared, just making sure that just following through um, all my preps, which helped me out because if you're not prepared, then you're just preparing to fail. So I just made sure that I was always prepared. So that way, it it um, it was a little bit easier. Of course, my meals were prepared when I was able to eat on some of those days, and then of course my workouts, sometimes they weren't as fun, and my work schedule, well, it was what it was. I couldn't do anything about that, but I just pushed through, and I just did, and I just made sure I was just prepared, and I think that was the biggest thing for me is I just every night or every morning, I either wrote out the schedule or, made sure the meals were prepared. Everything was always written out. I just set time for myself to make sure that I was ready for those goals.
Fantastic. So preparedness and consistency, goal setting, and just having faith was like the biggest factor for you. And I think that's such a wonderful thing. I think that's really wonderful. And that's why I say every single one of you ladies has such an inspiring story that I think is personally greater inspiration than my story, which I've told a million times. It's so boring to me, so I love sharing what it is that you guys have gone through and your point of view about how it is you've made it, where you want to be. So let's talk about let's turn the focus to show day. Okay, so we ran your peak, and we always do like a 2-week. I do like a mock peak week before the actual peak, so we know what to do. We got everything set up and stuff like that. I've talked about this on my blog and stuff like that. So here we are going into this show for the very first time for you. Okay, and we come off of dealing with some digestive issues and and everything just started falling into place, which was good. So what was that experience for you like? Like the day of the show, you're there at the theater. Like what's going on through your brain? You've done all this weeks of getting ready. You went through our Rockstar Training Camp course, the 8-week, course where I'm teaching you everything about what the judges are looking for, your suit, this, that, the other, history of bodybuilding, setting you up. So what's your mindset when you're there backstage and you're about to actually embark on making this goal finally your actual reality?
Well, I mean, let me just back up for a second. Don't forget that I had to go through 3 hair and makeup people also. They were all like boom, 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 camp up until the show day, so stress level was a little bit high on that part too.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And and because it was new to me, I get to the theater and I leave my suit in the hotel room, so everything was like, I didn't know I need to bring it, so I had to send someone to go get it. So I just stay calm. I just know, just stay calm, and then finally I'm back there, and well, I just see everyone pumping. Everyone's pumping, you know, doing the kickbacks. I'm like, wow, am I supposed to be doing this?
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm just, you know, standing there, and then there's this guy. He's like great. He does all the video and interviews with people backstage, you know. And I'm just there as a smile, and I'm just like, because I'm new and everyone's there. They've competed before, and I'm just like, wow, mesmerized by what's going on. And so it's time, you know, it's time. But I'm just doing body pumps because I'm like, I don't think I need a pump, you know. And I think I'm okay, because I was shredded. At that point, you know, I was looking pretty good. And so it's time, and I'm like, please don't let me be the first one out. I do not want to be the first one out.
Yeah. So tell us the organization that it was again.
Oh yeah, so it's the INBA PNBA. So this is the largest natural bodybuilding competition, and the family, the owners, they're wonderful. It's just a beautiful organization. They're very warming and kind. And so, I mean, I really don't have anything but nice things to say just about everyone there. So it's, and they bought out Ironman magazine, so they really represent. So yeah. So when it was time for the call out, and you know, they read your bio. So when you fill out the thing, you have like a little bio about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's reading my bio? I don't need, it's like a pageant, you know? It's like, I need to rewrite my bio for the next one. I didn't know. they read your bio. Like,
yeah, it's really cool when they do that. So, okay. So you go on stage now, and, you know, through our process on the show day, like it's almost as though I'm literally there, even though I'm not there, because as you know, I'm a hermit in my house. So anyway, but we're on Google Hangouts and everything. We're on phone, and, you know, we're having a back and forth and stuff. So it's like, I'm like, send me pictures, how are you, da-da-da. So it's like a lot of that all day long. So of course you know, when they're on stage, I'm chilling out. At this point, I don't get nervous. I'm just chilling out, you know, waiting for I got off stage. And so I got the text from Loleta that she got off stage, and, you know, so far it looked like call outs were going to be really great. So what happened? What were the results of this show? Tell us where you placed and what happened.
well, the call outs were, well, I was always in the middle. And then, so during after prejudging, the girls were like, well, you won. I was like, no, you don't win until they give you something. So I don't know. I don't think I won, you know? And I was like, and then, so at the night show, you know, I was the last one to come out. And then, so, you know, they ended up moving some girls around, and the way they moved it around, I ended up in the middle again. And then, so at the end result, you know, I won. So they crowned me. I get like 2 medals, a sword, and, you know, and my pro card. And I was like,
at your first show, like, yeah, like, I'm like, she's like, I was like, so where are you? In the middle? I'm like, she got it. Like, this is no, like, when you're in the game, you know, it's like you're in the middle. It's like, you know, she's like, oh, okay, whatever, it's good. Then she's like, oh, I got my pro card. I'm like, girl, see, there you go.
But they're like, you know, they wanted me to pose. I'm like, how you pose with like flowers, 2 medals, a sword? I'm like, I went to go put the sword down. They was like, no. And I was like, huh? I was like, Roxy didn't teach me this.
Okay, I'm going to add that to the posing repertoire. Like, in case you win a sword, we'll do it with a broomstick. I'll teach you how to pose with your sword with a broomstick. Okay.
I have way too many things in my hand. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah. So, all right. So now that, we had such a great success with that, and we decided to take a step back and to choose a later show. And so our goal right now has just been like, getting your metabolism back on track and just bringing up your body in certain areas and stuff like that. So what has this mini like off-season process been for you? And what's your focus going into your next show?
Well, it was kind of like up and down a little bit at first because this is my real first like you said mini off season, so I wasn't sure the mindset kind of threw me off a little bit, and then still I was kind of still having those issues, with what I was going through, so it kind of a little bit threw me off because of it was messing with my mind, and so, and then you had to put me in check about that. So
I do that kindly though, but like, except for sometimes some clients, I'm just like, look, you need to snap the hell out of it here. Okay. But I didn't have to do that with Loleta.
Yeah. No, I just took that one time, but I like snapped out of it pretty fast because even I was like, I was sick of myself, so yeah, like having that attitude. But it was really like bad, I was like, what is wrong? Like I was like irritated with myself, you know. But going through it now, I totally accept, the process has been great, now that I understand, going through it and everything. Now I'm feeling so much better, and yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, your body has really taken such great form and such great shape. I think our biggest focus for you has been the lower half, and really making sure those quads really get some shape in them, and your hamstrings and glutes, because you have a really solid upper body. So I think that we've been really able to do that. And when we have a longer period of time, we have a longer off season, that'll be even greater for you. And I think the sky is the limit with you. When I take on new clients and I see what we're playing with, there's some clients that I look at, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so easy. Or, like, oh, you want to compete. You have the ability to go far. And you're one of those people that I look like, wow, she has an ability to go far. So as I always say, we're just getting the party started for you.
Yes, I'm excited. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I know as I read, yeah, it's gonna get better and better. And as I age, it'll get better and better.
That's right, girl. That's right. That's right. I think the last thing I want to finish off with before we head out of here is, you touched upon something that I think is really important. And how do you feel like our work together has really helped you mindset wise, and just as a woman and person in general moving through life? Because I always talk a lot about how what we do with fitness can impact so much of the things in our lives outside of the gym, and with mindset, confidence, how we see ourselves. And we do a lot of journaling. We have those intensives on the back end of our program that help you to kind of find those things. What do you feel like you've discovered about yourself in this process, and how has the work that we've done helped you to get that understanding of you?
Well, I'm able to put myself a little more first because I'm always thinking of others, and so we talked about that. I have a hardest time of thinking of me or putting myself first in certain areas, or exposing myself in certain ways, as we talked about before. But when we have conversations, or when we have our group calls, that helps out a lot, because when you open up a dialogue with other women and share certain things, and it's done like in a private group setting, you're amazed at what a common ground we have. And so you can pick, like, oh, I've experienced that, and then you kind of share something, and it's helped me out a lot. And then like you and I have same experiences, and it's helped me. And so I'm thankful that someone can relate, and so I'm not like, I don't feel alone. Not that I ever felt alone, but I'm able to, share that experience with somebody. It makes more sense when someone can say, yeah, I totally get that. And I like to, I rather work with a woman and a man, and not that I don't mind working with a man, but it makes it a more enjoyable experience when a woman can say, yeah, I get that,
Yeah, absolutely.
I get that. Yeah. And then, and then you might not share every experience, but you get it. Yeah. So, yeah. And a lot of your YouTube videos, I mean, most women can relate to it because they're not all your experiences, but they're your clients' experiences.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
And then you're sharing. So
wait, hold on one second, Loleta. Let's go back for a second because for some reason it had froze up a little bit. So we'll go back for a little bit. I'll edit it. Where you were saying that it's not just my experiences, but it's the client's experiences as well.
So it's not just your experiences, but when you share your client's experiences, then others can relate to it. I can relate to it. And so that's what makes it special.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So this has been a really great interview and just a really great, just opening into your experiences. And I'm pretty sure that what you've shared will touch someone out there. So the only thing I want to finish off with for today is you speaking to that one woman right now who may be sitting out there who's like thinking just like how you were, like watching my YouTube videos on my website, looking at stuff, reading articles, and just kind of deciding whether or not this is the right move for you, if working with me is the right thing for you. What would you say to that woman right now, based off of you knowing exactly what it's like to be in her shoes? What would you say if she's trying to decide whether or not to reach out to me?
Well, I would say, if she's truly ready to make that commitment, make that commitment to herself, and then also make that commitment to you, then, to whatever it is that she's wanting to change, and I would say go for it, because it is a commitment. It's not something that this is a 30-day thing, but it's a more long-term commitment. And because it's not just you're getting a workout. I mean, you can, but there's so much more that Roxy provides. There's a lot of other trainers out there that can give you that, but this is much more than that. This is much more. I mean, I know so many other people that can do that, but Roxy's on a whole other level. And I would just say, if you're ready for a commitment, that you want that change, and you want to feel so much more within to change, and it'll be the exterior will change on its own, but it's more the within. I would say go ahead and go for it.
Awesome sauce. Well, Loleta, thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing your experience today. And we're going to go ahead and check in with you in a couple of weeks when we move out of this off-season phase and we're really back into the swing of prep. So be ready to come back on and inspire others with your story. But otherwise, I thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me on today's video. I truly hope that Loleta's story was something that really inspired you. And hey, listen, if you're a woman out there who's watching this video right now and you are thinking about working with me, I am currently accepting new clients. So I'd love to just go ahead and get on a phone call with you, 30 minutes of your time for a clarity call. Let's talk about your goals. Let's talk about what it is that you want to achieve. And most importantly, let's talk about what's been holding you back from getting those goals accomplished. And what I'll do is I'll evaluate whether or not I can truly help you, because I only take on women that I know I can truly help and have an impact on their lives. And if we get to the end of the call and we feel like, this is right for the both of us, only then will I go ahead and tell you what I have to offer and what it is that I can do to get you to that next level. And hey, listen, I have programs for several different budgets. So come on and talk with me, and we'll find something that will fit into where you can financially commit to right now. Go to rockstarfitness.com/clarity call, watch the video on that page, fill out an application, and then you'll be able to set up your call with me, and we'll go ahead and take it from there. If you are watching me for the very first time, make sure that you subscribe to my channel right now and you click the bell notification so that way you do not miss a single video. All right, guys, and like this video, thumbs up, share your comments in the comments below. If you have questions, go ahead and post it there, and we will be sure to answer them for you. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.